Imagine boarding a flight, excited for a trip, only to face the sting of judgment and prejudice. That's exactly what happened to a hardworking black mom traveling with her young son. From the moment she stepped onto the plane, whispers and side-eyes from the crew made her feel unwelcome. What started as subtle jabs soon escalated into outright mockery. Snide comments about her appearance, assumptions about her background, and dismissive treatment that left her holding back tears. Little did they know, her quiet son wasn't just any child. He had grown up to become a powerful billionaire, fiercely protective of the woman who raised him. When he learns of the disrespect his mother endured, his response is nothing short of extraordinary. But how does he deliver justice in a way that leaves the entire flight crew stunned and the world talking? Stay tuned to find out. The mother, a kind and soft-spoken woman, had always taught her son the value of humility and kindness. She worked tirelessly to ensure he had a better future, often putting her own needs aside. This flight wasn't just a trip, it was supposed to be a rare moment of joy for her. But as she sat quietly in her seat, trying to ignore the crew's cruel remarks, her heart ached. The laughter behind her back, the dismissive tone when she asked for help, it all reminded her of the struggles she thought were behind her. Meanwhile, her son was busy running his multi-billion-dollar company, unaware of the ordeal his mother was enduring. He had worked hard to climb to the top, inspired by her unwavering strength. But when a concerned passenger secretly recorded the incident and sent it to him, everything changed. The video left him furious, but what would he do next? The video revealed more than just rude behavior. It showed the flight crew's blatant disregard for human decency. The billionaire son watched in disbelief as his mother's quiet dignity was met with cold smirks and condescending gestures. It wasn't just the words that hurt, it was the lack of basic respect, the kind his mother had always given to others, no matter their background. His heart raced with anger, but also guilt. How could something like this happen to the woman who had sacrificed everything for him? He knew he had to act, not just for her, but for anyone who had ever been treated unfairly. Meanwhile, the flight crew remained unaware of the storm brewing outside their bubble of arrogance. Some passengers had started whispering about what they'd seen, while others debated whether to speak up. The tension in the air was undeniable, but no one could predict what would happen next. As the flight continued, the whispers among the passengers grew louder. A few brave individuals began capturing more of the crew's behavior on their phones, unable to believe the blatant disrespect being shown. The mother sat silently, holding back tears, pretending not to notice. But inside, she felt humiliated and powerless. She thought of calling her son, but she didn't want to burden him with her pain. Little did she know, the video had already reached him, and he was working quickly behind the scenes. The son's team had already begun gathering details about the flight and the crew. While the mother was still thousands of feet in the air, he made a series of phone calls that set an unstoppable chain of events in motion. The tension on the plane was palpable as the crew remained oblivious to the growing backlash. By the time the plane landed, everything was about to change. As the plane touched down, the mother breathed a quiet sigh of relief, thinking the worst was over. But she couldn't shake the uneasy feeling in her chest. The passengers who had witnessed the crew's behavior exchanged knowing looks as they disembarked, their phones buzzing with notifications. Unbeknownst to the mother, her son had not only seen the video, but had shared it with his legal team and some influential friends in the media. Within hours, the story began to spread online, sparking outrage and calls for accountability. But that wasn't all he had planned. Just as the flight crew began wrapping up their duties, an airline official arrived at the gate with an unexpected announcement. The crew was being asked to stay behind for an urgent meeting. Confused but unconcerned, they complied, unaware of the growing storm waiting for them. Meanwhile, the mother stepped off the plane, only to find her son waiting for her, calm, collected, and ready to turn the tables. What came next would leave everyone speechless. As the mother stepped into the terminal, her son greeted her with a warm hug, masking the fire burning behind his calm expression. She tried to downplay what had happened, but he gently stopped her, reassuring her that everything was under control. Meanwhile, the flight crew sat in the meeting room, their casual demeanor shifting to unease as a senior airline executive entered, accompanied by the son and his legal team. It wasn't just any meeting, it was a confrontation. The crew's actions were replayed on a screen, the recordings now undeniable evidence of their misconduct. The crew stammered through weak excuses, but the executive cut them off, announcing their immediate suspension pending investigation. Just as the mother thought it was over, her son revealed one more twist. He had secretly purchased a controlling share of the airline, ensuring systemic changes to prevent such behavior in the future. The crew was speechless, the passengers cheered online, and the mother finally smiled, proud of her son's strength and integrity. As the mother and son left the terminal, the weight of the ordeal began to lift. She looked at him, her eyes filled with both gratitude and pride. "You didn't have to do all this," she said softly. He smiled and replied, "Mom, you taught me to stand up for what's right. This isn't just for you, it's for everyone who's been treated unfairly." The story quickly gained traction, with the video and the son's bold actions going viral. People praised him for using his influence to make a real difference, while the airline announced sweeping changes to its training and policies. For the mother, the experience became a reminder of her own strength and the incredible man her son had become. As they drove away, she squeezed his hand and said, "You're my greatest success." He smiled back, knowing that standing up for her was the least he could do.